Harris. They didn't want Harris. They wanted anybody but Harris. And it was the same thinking in the Trump campaign. Now it's Harris, and you see the energy and you see the surge in the polls, and all those elites got it completely wrong. How much did this take Trump's campaign off guard?
I think not the switching out, the switcheroo of Biden and Harris, or Biden with Harris, but the blowing up of Kamala Harris. You know, being a Miami resident, I think in terms of hurricanes, and this looks like a tropical storm that found the right patch of warm water in the Gulf of Mexico and rapidly intensified into a hurricane. And what the Trump campaign is realizing is, okay, we have to batten down the hatches and we need to execute a new game plan and do it rather flawlessly, because they are in a real tough fight now. And they weren't just, 6, 7, 8 days ago? I've lost track of the days at this point. But the reality is Kamala Harris poses a much graver threat and challenge to Donald Trump than Joe Biden did. And Donald Trump's campaign knows that. And
Donald Trump, it appears, knows that. I mean, your reporting is that her appeal, her cultural appeal specifically, right, is something that he can see, and that your sources are telling you that the campaign, if they do not get that, will underestimate it at their peril. Those are the words?
Those are the words. As has been said before, politics is downstream of culture, and one of the interesting things about Donald Trump, and a key to understanding his appeal and resilience in the electorate, is that Donald Trump was a cultural figure before he was a political one. Kamala Harris is a little different. She is a political figure, and she is on the cusp of becoming, if not is now, a cultural figure. My 16-year-old daughter, for instance, who could not give a hoot about politics, suddenly knows all of these facts about Kamala Harris through TikTok.
Yeah.
And that says something. She's breaking through to the other side.
And that is crucial. You also talk about the Trump campaign, if that Biden was replaced, back to my original point about how they got it wrong, and the Democratic side got it wrong too about Harris, right? The Trump side thought it would be a bloodbath, an open primary. That's really what they counted on?
Well, I wouldn't say they counted on it, but that's what they expected. I mean, they heard the conversation coming out of Democrats, out of Biden's senior advisors as leaked to others in the media, who basically said, look, they don't believe that Kamala Harris could win. And so the Trump campaign heard that. They also noted, look, in 2020, Kamala Harris ran a pretty terrible campaign and did a bad job as a candidate. Now, we are early in the process. Tony Fabrizio, who is the top pollster and strategic advisor for Donald Trump, issued a memo. And by the way, he issued a memo because he sort of had to, saying, look, Kamala Harris is going to gain steam, gain momentum over the next few days, but is eventually going to settle out. That's the Trump campaign's position. But they do acknowledge that she is serious, and they do privately acknowledge that they sort of underestimated her. I don't think they're going to be doing that going forward.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. All right, thank you so much, Mark, with all that new reporting.
Donald Trump finds himself in unfamiliar territory tonight, fighting for attention. For 4 days now, President Biden's historic decision to step out of the 2024 race and endorse Vice President Kamala Harris has all but erased Trump's dominance over the news cycle, or, as political campaigns see it, his dominance over free media. It's an advantage that the Harris campaign has been using until they are up and running with ads of their own. And it's an advantage that, as the New York Times points out tonight, Trump has long enjoyed. My source on this tonight is Trump's former White House communications director, who knows all too well about his plays in the headlines, Anthony Scaramucci.